Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Richard Ayoade. In the news this week, in Bedford, there's evidence that Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves is already pulling out all the stops to get some spending money into the Treasury.
81, 81.
Lincolnshire Council's Willie the Wheelie Bin campaign to encourage glass recycling backfires as someone accidentally deposits a full whiskey bottle. And a controversial military operation to use animals for espionage purposes sees one of its most promising candidates fail the concealment test. On Ian's team tonight is a visually impaired comedian and professional voiceover artist who has lent his voice to a range of adverts, from lager to road safety. So he's really cornered the lucrative drink-drive market. Please welcome Jamie MacDonald. On Paul's team tonight is a presenter who once won an Arkwright Engineering Prize. Presumably she fixed the dodgy cash register in his corner shop. Please welcome Steph McGovern. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Jamie, have a look at this.
What have we got?
We've got a massive rally. We've got Mark Rowley, the policeman, investigating police, and there's Suella Braverman being arrested by two policemen for hate speech. This is the march.
Yes.
And the argument about it. It's on the same day as Remembrance Day, and there's a big row about it, despite the fact that the police think it should be perfectly possible to have a march in one place and the Cenotaph Remembrance Service in another at different times without them clashing.
The idea that you should have an anti-war march on the same day as Armistice Day seems to be bizarre.
Yes.
Wildly inappropriate.
Yeah. Armistice from the Latin, stop fighting.
Yes.
And the police have said, you know, we know there's some lunatics on marches, but we reckon we can do this. So they all agreed, and the Prime Minister said, yes, the march can go ahead, and the Home Secretary just wrote a piece in the Times saying the police have let me down. And you think, God, if only there was someone who was in charge of the police who she could talk to.
Another senior politician who has called for this week's pro-Palestinian march to be postponed is Justice Minister Alex Chalk. I should say, in the interest of balance, we would say his views were violently opposed by Shadow Minister Malcolm Cheese.
The theory is, isn't it, that she's trying to get sacked deliberately.
Yes, because she wants to put in her bid to be the leader of the
Yes.
Tories. She's absolutely pushing all of Rishi's buttons.
There's a brilliant clip of the two of them sitting next to each other. It's the first time any Tory government has observed social distancing.
We have the footage of Suella Braverman sitting next to Rishi Sunak.
Because without a serious Home Secretary, there can be no serious government, and he cannot be a serious Prime Minister.
There you go.
The thing I love about, the only thing I like about Suella is her name being from the Dallas character, Sue Ellen.
I don't believe that. I think it's from Nutella.
But he's still supporting her, isn't he? He's not come out and said otherwise. So do you think he's scared of her?
Aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What else does Suella Braverman want to ban?
Homeless people, tents.
Yes.
People using tents.
That's right. I mean, if she was just trying to ban camping, I'd be behind her.
But then you'd have to word that bill very carefully.
You would. You would. You would.
There'd be a lot of pantomime to be out of business.
That's right.
I'm on in Richmond this year, by the way.
Yes, she is trying to ban tents. She said sleeping on the streets is a lifestyle choice. Nobody in Britain should be living in a tent. It's a surprise that more people don't choose to live in opulence.
Homelessness is a lifestyle choice. It's the last time I buy a big issue. If it can help the homeless, help you live your dream more, like bugger off. Loving it.
Let's talk about more mad people.
Is it Nadine?
Yes.
Ah.
Nadine Dorris, her explosive book.
Yes.
The Plot.
Yes.
The political assassination of Boris Johnson. It's out now.
Yeah.
There are other books available.
Yes. The Mail called The Plot the most eagerly anticipated book of the year.
I mean, the basic theory of the book is there's this incredible conspiracy theory amongst top Tories that they've managed to topple every single leader to date.
Called The Movement.
Yeah, and it produced the obvious, like most movements.
Nadine writes about a secret, hidden force that brought down not just Boris Johnson, but also Theresa May, David Cameron, Ian Duncan Smith and Liz Truss. Incompetence.
It's the characters in the book, though, as well. So she's got, like, the Dark Lord. That's Dominic Cummings.
Yeah.
Right.
She's got the Wolf, which is a bloke called Dougie Smith.
Not so threatening, is it, Dougie Smith?
Dougie, yeah. I saw Nadine Dorris do this thing on YouTube, and the Dougie Smith took Boris Johnson down and finished him off.
Perhaps it was his birthday.
This book is just completely full of things that aren't true.
But based on interviews with hundreds and hundreds of people in her head.
Very good.
And in it as well, it's got this whole thing about Boris's coiled mamba.
He needs to see his tailor.
Yeah. I did see this week, it came out in the COVID inquiry, that during the early days of the pandemic, Boris Johnson volunteered to be injected with the COVID virus live on television.
Yes.
Is it not too late to take him up on that offer?
Now, there is some breaking news, I'm being told in my
Yes.
ear. Shut the fridge. Nigel Farage has been confirmed as a contestant on
I'm a Celebrity.
I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, for a fee of up to £1 million.
Of up to £1 million, so it could be a quid.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it could be.
I hope he can find a bank that will accept it.
This is the growing row over the pro-Palestinian march planned for Armistice Day. Suella Braverman described this weekend's demonstration as a hate march, adding, "I'm in." One focal point this Remembrance Weekend will be the 2-minute silence for most a chance to reflect. For Keir Starmer, a chance to go 2 minutes without saying anything to offend anyone. One name behind the shadowy group Dorris suggests is controlling the Tories is Dougie Smith, who formerly ran the Federation of Conservative Students, during which time they proposed the total liberalisation of drug laws, incest, paedophilia and hanging Nelson Mandela. I know what you're thinking, but where do they stand on ULEZ? In Nadine Dorris's book, The Plot, which, oddly, is the one thing it doesn't have, she cunningly disguises her sources by giving them code names such as Skyfall, Moneypenny, Dr. No, and M. No sign of Q, though, particularly at a book signing. Paul and Steph, have a look at this.
This is the time-travelling coach back from the 18th century. There's the Speaker of the House of Commons putting on his ceremonial coat. There's two people who get on well with each other. One's got a bigger poppy than the other one. And there we have, I don't know who they are. There we have Camilla and a bloke walking towards the thrones to deliver the King's Peach.
Right, it is the state opening of the King's Peach.
Yes.
It's Charles's first state opening of Parliament as King.
Yes, first King's Peach for over 70 years.
Who opened proceedings?
Is it Black Rod knocking on the door?
Close. It was actually the army with the historical walking of the royal compass prior to Charles's arrival.
Is it a moral compass?
How did the press rate Charles's speech?
Excellent.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Better than last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they felt a bit sorry for him because he obviously had to read out a speech that wasn't written by him, it was written by the
Stuff he didn't
government.
agree with.
Yes,
Yeah.
so he was having to talk about, we're going to ban fags,
Oh,
which I don't
blimey.
think his missus will be happy about.
Yeah.
I mean, the Queen had to say quite a few things she didn't agree with, or didn't she? So that kind of comes with the job. Once you get to the top, you just got to suck it up, haven't you?
Yeah,
Say whatever the hell they like.
Tell me about it. Did you see George Osborne talking about being given a hard time by the Queen?
No.
Well,
Let's have a look.
I've got it here.
You're not going to close, are you, the Highland Bagpipe School of the British Army? I was like, of course not, Your Majesty. So the next day I get into the Treasury. I said, is there a bagpipe school? And for God's sake, tell me we're not closing it down. And the Treasury didn't know, or my private office didn't know immediately, and they scurried up and they said, yes, apparently there's a kind of Highland music school as part of the army bands, and we are making some cuts to those. And I said, well, we're not anymore.
A man of great principle.
Given time, you could work that up into an anecdote.
Yes.
That's a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What else did the King's Speech cover?
To be tougher on crime.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
We've got no space in jails, but we're going to make people go for longer.
I mean, it is quite funny for this government at the moment to crack down on crime, because most crime seems to be committed on the backbenches of the Conservative Party.
The thing that I was interested in it, though, is this whole Network North thing. Try and improve the journeys in the north. Obviously, they were talking about North London.
We're also getting big into the self-driving cars, and every time that comes on the news, people always say to me, oh, you'll be looking forward to them, eh?
In his speech, Charles announced there would be more support for driverless cars, or just cars to him. So Rishi wrote the speech, Charles read it out, but whose big day was it really?
The Speaker's
Lindsay
big day.
What about
Hoyle.
Lindsay? Look at him here on BBC News, very much not being a diva.
So I am here with Sir Lindsay Hoyle, who is the Speaker of the House of Commons, and we are in the Speaker's house. Now, just to say that we are...
And he just let off a fart, and he was, like, trying to...
Either that or it's an unfortunate salute.
I was once invited to the Speaker's house for it was a party for the movers and shakers in the disability world and the ones that can keep still. And there was no toilets in it, there was no disabled toilets in it. It was an absolute shit show.
Who else had an embarrassing moment during the state opening of Parliament?
Black Rod again, did he miss?
Yeah, Mr. Dobb fell over.
Yeah. Ed Davey. His automated shoulder pads malfunctioned.
Oh, dear. His hands are worrying me, to be honest.
What was he yucking it up at? It was obviously new material night in the Commons.
Keir Starmer's speech, was it?
Robert Goodwill came up with an absolute zinger.
Oh, great. Go on, him.
We have now had 3 women Conservative premiers. Assuming the most recent one counts, of course.
Solid burn. What's Charles looking forward to?
His birthday.
Yes.
And the fact that he's not inviting his other son.
He's surprised everyone by saying that he wants his birthday to be a normal working day. So, no plans. Have you seen the cake?
No.
It's a 5'10" life-size version of him. Obviously, the question is, which bit would you eat first?
Crown jewels.
The Royal
Crown
Cross.
jewels. According to the Daily Express, Charles's head is full of puffed rice. This is the first King's speech for 70 years, which contained a number of anti-green policies. Outside the Palace of Westminster, protesters shouted at Charles, "Not my king," to which he yelled back, "Not my speech." Presenting his first King's speech, Charles was joined on the dais by his equerry, Major Johnny Thompson, Lord True, Lord Oliver Cholmondeley, Lord Stirrup and Major Plunkett. Oi, oi, lads on tour. Everyone do a shot when he looks across. And so to round 2, the DJ deck of news.
Wow.
It's very exciting. I'm going to play in some sick beats, and I need you to buzz in, only when you know what story they relate to.
Okay,
Fingers on
fine.
buzzers. I'm gonna start it.
Go on, then.
God, I'm going to have to be...
Gosh, this... Yes.
Lonely Scottish sheep Fiona rescued at last.
Bingo.
Well done.
Yes, this is the news. Britain's loneliest sheep has been rescued. Where was the sheep rescued from?
On a cliff, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Cliff edge.
Down a cliff, that's right. According to the New York Times, it is an international story.
Yeah.
The sheep had spent at least 2 years alone on a beach at the bottom of a Scottish cliff. I've tried to book that holiday.
How did they know she was lonely?
Messages in bottles.
Yeah.
There was a picture taken by a passing kayaker.
It has since been shorn.
Yeah, the sheep has made a lifestyle choice.
I just don't think she's lonely.
Well, at least he's not on a podcast with Ed Balls.
Well, I mean, it makes a better story rather than happy sheep rescued from paradise.
Yeah.
You know.
The spokeswoman for the Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals told the Sunday Times, it's not injured, it's not sick, it has ample grazing and a water source, it's not an emergency. And she works at the local doctors on reception. Do you want to know what the Daily Star Sunday called it?
Yes.
The Lamshank Redemption. And one of the rescuers told the Sun she's going to a very special place where you will be able to see her every day, and here she is. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's better than being shepherd's pie. She's actually now gone to be housed at Dulscan Farm Fund.
They've cut off the word abattoir at the end.
This is the rescue of Britain's loneliest sheep. According to The Guardian, Fiona is now such a celebrity that she has appeared on ITV's This Morning. In fact, as she was being lifted off the beach, Philip Schofield was being lowered down to replace her. Back to the DJ deck of news.
Oh, great.
Prepare yourself for some unbelievable rhythms. Yes.
Oh, somebody's unwrapping something, eating something.
That's right.
Caramac.
Caramac.
It's Caramac.
They're getting rid of Caramac.
It's the shocking news that Caramac might be being discontinued.
People are freaking out.
I cannot wait for the film of this.
I mean, it tastes minging, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice, lovely.
When's the last time you had a Caramac?
About a week ago.
Really?
No.
Branding expert Nick Eade added, it seems to have fallen out of favour, or should I say, flavour. Nice one, Nick. Please join the team anytime.
Does it not taste good?
Have you never had one? Have you ever had a chocolate bar before?
The only chocolate he gets is produced by ambassadors at embassies.
Well, let's remind ourselves, or for me, let's see it for the first time, Caramac in its glory.
Yeah.
I've got 5 pence. Wish that I'd got 5 pence. What can you buy for 5 pence? It buys a Caramac bar. There's some for you and me. We never knew 5p went so far.
I've changed my mind, it should be banned.
Yes.
Look at those haircuts.
Envious?
This is the shocking news that Caramac bars are being discontinued. This is terrible news for the chocolate industry, which badly needs a boost. Please tell me you can still get those. It's time now for the odd one out round. Your four are Queen Elizabeth II, Cicero, John Lennon, and Pierce Brosnan. Yes.
Well, this must be something to do with voices, I think, because John Lennon, with the help of AI, his voice has been sort of reconstituted and has put on the last Beatles single from a very poor quality audio cassette. So is it something to do with voices?
No.
No?
It is to do with that song.
Right, OK.
Is it to do with posthumousness?
Yes.
Well, John Lennon's dead and he's done the lyrics. Cicero, he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's well dead.
Judging by his passport photo, I'd say he's definitely...
Well dead.
But Pierce Brosnan did ABBA. Is Pierce Brosnan the odd one out because he did ABBA songs but ABBA was still alive and then the others have done...
Who did the Queen do?
Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia.
It's that they've all posthumously had their work put on show, except for Pierce Brosnan, who's killed attempts to show his artwork.
Oh.
Does his artwork include the Mamma Mia film? Because that should be killed.
It is a kind of artwork. Why has Pierce Brosnan told the people of Derbyshire that they can't see his work?
Because he doesn't have any.
Oh, he's got work. And this winter, Gallery in Derbyshire was set to host Pierce Brosnan's first UK art exhibition. But the actor kicked off, saying there would be no show and that, as far as he was concerned, the exhibition didn't exist, which is also how I felt about the exhibition. Do you want to see the kind of painting Pierce Brosnan does? Which is actually the instruction booklet for the Mamma Mia DVD.
It's a man putting earplugs.
Ah, that's a very good joke then from Richard.
Yes, thank you. What was Brosnan's main problem with the proposed exhibition? The gallery advertised £500 VIP tickets. It included the chance to meet Brosnan. And he took umbrage with that, saying he would never charge for a meet and greet. And lawyers have issued a cease and desist letter. But despite the threat, Brosnan still plans to carry on producing art. Cicero's legal work is being re-examined. Recently, a room of high-level barristers took part in a mock trial, which cleared Cicero of unlawfully sentencing 5 men to death without trial.
Oh, in the Catalan conspiracy?
Yes, exactly.
It's a terrible miscarriage. I'm still cross.
I couldn't sleep at night.
Oh. It's the Wagatha Christie of its day, wasn't it?
Certainly was.
According to The Times,
yes,
similar historical trials have recently acquitted Alexander the Great of war crimes and Boudicca of terrorism, although the jury's still out on the planning permission for Hadrian's Wall.
Names have changed over the years. Used to be Boudicca, didn't she?
Yeah.
Now it's Boudicca. Nestle used to be Nestle. What's going on? What's going on with the world?
Yes, Knickers used to be Marathon.
I beg your pardon, Knickers. Snickers, sorry, yes, that's right, yeah. Walnut Whip used to be the leader of the opposition.
What early work of Queen Elizabeth II recently went on display?
Is it a drawing?
Yes, it was a drawing that young Princess Elizabeth drew and sent to Peter Pan author J.M. Barrie, and it has gone up for sale. Here's the picture.
Why is it wearing a hairnet?
Yeah.
Also, why has it got so many windows in the roof?
Yeah.
Well, the Queen Mother, in her letter to Barrie, said that her daughter had insisted on putting windows in the roof and that the drawing itself was very poor. It's a very warm family. John Lennon's voice is being recreated for a newly released Beatles song. Speaking about modern music, Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards dismissed it as a one-way toilet. Keith, something's wrong with your toilet. You need to call a plumber, Keith. It shouldn't be going 2 ways. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Sweep Stuff magazine, the newsletter of the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps. And we start with Man in Newbury digs up potato that what?
Man in Newbury digs up a potato that looks like Clement Attlee riding a bike. It looks like Madonna siphoning petrol out of a Volkswagen. It looks like 2 Norwegians fighting over a sponge cake.
Yes.
Yeah, what?
No. The answer is Man in Newbury digs up potato that looks like a dog. Here is retired teacher Chris Gittins.
No.
It looks more like a pig.
Do you know what? I think it looks more like a potato. I am looking at the right object, aren't I?
Here he is, holding it by a fence. Here he is, pointing at it. And here he is, pretending to be frightened by it.
Where did he dig it up?
In a dog sanctuary. Next, the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps says when it comes to the government, what?
They don't like it up.
The Scots are most approachable. The article also reveals that the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps are working with the Scottish Government, presumably helping them brush things under the carpet. Electrician finds what under the floorboard at Oxford University?
F.R. Leavis. A tiny remnant of a chimney sweep's brush.
Is it Chaucer's hairdryer?
The ceiling to the floor below.
Yes. Gotta be. That's the one.
Electrician finds stash of dirty mags from the 1940s under the floorboards at Oxford University. Electrician Stuart Panter.
What were the dirty mags in the 1940s called? Ankle?
Yeah. Finally, if you win the captain competition, what could be yours?
A new brush.
You're not far off.
I know I'm not, that's why I'm saying it.
I know. It's, if you win the captain competition, a Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps polo shirt. Could be yours.
Has it got a hole in the middle?
Where your head goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
His explanation got a bigger laugh than my original joke.
This is a competition in the magazine Sweep Stuff. We've got one of the captain competitions here, if anyone fancies a go.
Oh, yeah?
Speedy bricklayers embarrass badly parked motorists.
Just a car just put on the top.
First driverless car sold to blind person.
To escape his pursuers, James Bond rapidly deploys the emergency chimney device.
Yeah, I couldn't park up there.
The winner goes to Ian for I couldn't park up there. There's a wonderful polo shirt. Just going to pass that along.
He's just given me my prize, which is a shirt covered in genuine coal dust.
You must be delighted.
I will. I'll give it to one of the small boys who I've hired.
I mean, that sounds wrong, by the way.
And we'll be tackling that story next week. For younger viewers watching who may not know what a chimney sweep was, it was a job usually done by a small child who could climb up a chimney to dislodge the soot. The children were often found living on the streets, but don't feel sorry for them. It was very much a lifestyle choice. So the final scores are Ian and Jamie have 6, Paul and Steph only have 5. On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Jamie MacDonald, Paul Merton and Steph McGovern, and I leave you with news that following the success of a life-size King Charles birthday cake, bakers turned their hand to commemorate Ian Duncan Smith's time as leader of the Conservatives. At the White House, as they head out for a state banquet, Jill Biden regrets asking Joe to help her with the mascara. And in London, after getting dressed in the dark, one man realises he's accidentally put on his wife's thong. Good night.
Newscast asks plenty of questions, sparking interest in discussions about the day's biggest stories on BBC Sounds. Listen now.